That's the energy comes from, because that is, I want to use now at some point during this podcast, because I want to continue on this in terms of the, go as one, because something is happening while everyone goes as one. But I'm going to give you the word first, Yvonne.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I feel, we are merging. I love, I saw, it was a question that came through me in this moment, so I love and appreciate how you went into the zone right now to answer this, because it's a question, that brings God into the picture. And everyone will have the experience of God so unique, but in my experience of more than 20, 25 years, it keeps adding, of a spiritual focus and learning everything I can about spirituality and God. Oneness is what comes as a synonym of God, no matter the religion, no matter the, what we're doing in life, is this unity sense. And I could not have put it in better words than you did. The team, there's no 11, there's one. And that wisdom can be applied, Miran, imagine, for relationships. There's no two, there's one. Can be applied for resolving conflict in the world. There's no 10 countries, there's one planet, one focus, one consciousness, one end goal. Are we going to put the ball in the goal of progress, in the goal of transcendence, in the goal of illumination? One of my goals on the Sovereign Futures podcast, and bringing, all of my allies and all of the people that I personally admire, regardless of the age. I learned so much from you. I learned from every mentor, from every student. They are all my teachers. I'm a long life student in life, but one of my goals is to create a revolution of consciousness, and not revolution per se, but re-evolution, to be able for us to win and repeat, and then repeat again, and then go to a higher level, but in this state of what you just called the oneness thing. Because when you don't have that, just share a little bit about that. You gave me the word right now, and I know you want to continue about a little bit more about this oneness. What happens when we don't play as a team?
What happens when you go play as a team is that now I want to really specify this and try to not use language that's going to make it that people are going to misunderstand this. So I'm going to try to simplify it. When you're going as one, for instance, there are 11 players on the team going as one. All of us is going towards one goal, which is to win the game. Within our team, the oneness, everyone has their own role. You have the strikers, you have the midfielders, you have defenders, you have the goalkeeper. Everyone having their own tasks to fulfill their job, to get that win. And here's the beauty. The strikers needs the midfielders for the goals. The midfielders needs their defenders to make sure they can play the ball to the strikers. The defenders need the goalkeeper so the goalkeeper can see everything in front of them, what the defenders has to defend with and against. And what I'm trying to say is that each player on that team, on those positions, are simplifying other one's task. The midfielders will make it easier for the strikers to score goals because they are the ones who will pass the ball to the strikers. And here is even the greater example. The strikers are the first defenders.
Wow.
And then comes midfielders who are the second defenders. And then comes the last, which is defenders, the main defenders. But you can also reverse. Sometimes defenders are the first strikers because they will be the one who passes the long ball to the strikers or start the counter attack. The goalkeeper can sometimes be the one who starts it all. He can be the one who starts the counterattacks and the defense. Because like I said, the goalkeeper can see what the striker doesn't see. He can see what the midfielder doesn't see, and he can certainly see what the defender cannot see.
Wow.
Everyone has a role. And here comes my favorite quote of all time, which has led my life to a whole new level of joy and towards enlightenment, which makes me excited for my future in life. And that is, less is more.
Amen.
And what happens in our team when I say this? When everyone does their own job, no one has to add the extra effort because everyone is doing their task fully and professionally and giving their 100%. And when everyone does their job, the less comes in. They pass the ball. There's no one guy who goes dribbling by himself and then he will lose the ball because he knows he cannot surpass 8 players all the time. He just can't. But if you let the ball go, pass it towards each other, let the ball make the other team run. Teamwork, doing less, using 2 touches on the ball instead of 5. It will save you energy. It will save you effort. It will save you from being distracted and stay clear on what you need to do. Less is more. When everyone does their job on a team, if you're in a relationship, if the man provides and does what he can for the wife, and when she is praying back, that's oneness. Little by little, consistently, doing it with effort. There's no 50-50. There's 100-100.
I meant to that. I'm a believer of that, Miran. I'm a believer of that. That's one of the, maybe I'm going to keep inviting you because I have so many questions of yours. You are one of the, and you, again, in age, you're a young man, but you have the wisdom of the divine feminine. You have a wisdom of how to respect women and also how to respect yourself at a very young age, which is very refreshing for me. One of my challenges has been being in a relationship because I'm so obsessed with 3 hours of meditation and things like that. And it requires, a counterpart that will understand that, and not see it as that will play as a team with me. So I just think that what you're sharing right now is such an incredible wisdom. And I will invite you again, I think by the end of the year, so we can talk about this more. But I love the part that you said, less is more. Leonardo da Vinci, if I'm not mistaken, used to say that simplicity is the most refined, the greatest sophistication. And the more we simplify, the more we are present and do our job. The challenges we are facing in humanity. I have, again, as a goal with all our D&D allies, for those of you who do not know what D&D is, it's called Down and Dirty. It's Down and Dirty. I actually should do a podcast called Down and Dirty, an episode, not a podcast, because that's not my name. And I always pay tribute and honor everything from my mentors, but something called Down and Dirty Spiritual Awakening. But my goal is to really keep creating this spiritual re-evolution, which we rethink, which we come back into doing our personal work. So it's not only the right thing, moral duty of our soul to do that, but also you become a really good human. And that's one of my pursuits, to really keep supporting people as I keep growing, as I keep committing to just keep expanding what God gave me, the love that God gave me, the abilities God gave me. I don't know about the others, but I do not want to leave Earth without having used every single ounce of the field, of my soccer field, and have not done my job that God believed in me that I could, or that source, as consciousness, the universe, energy, however you call it. And what Miran is saying to us today, I'm going to ask everyone to re-listen to the podcast, because the wisdom of this young man is wisdom that all of us, I'm almost 50. He said, I'm almost going to turn 23. Like, if it was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older. And I'm like, yeah, I'm half, it's half the age in there. But it's so refreshing for me, and I hope it is for you all, that the generation of Miran, especially those that are focused at this age in mastery, it's coming, it's our future. So I'm talking to the future right now. I'm talking to a future that Miran is sharing, of simplicity, but mastery. I'm talking to a future through Miran of unity in diversity. I'm talking to a future of teamwork done right. Everybody can have a team. I had teams. I create teams for more than 20 years, and it's a mess sometimes, especially when someone wants to be in the role of someone else. Do your work. Own your worth. Know who you are, and that will help the team win, because we do want to win. So Miran, I'm not your mother, I'm your ally, I'm your friend. I learn from you. We learn from each other. We learn from Mr. Grover together. But if I was your mother, I will say, I'm so proud that a man like you is being in the field of life, doing the right things, figuring it out, and getting back into the field of soccer, in the field of life, in the field of enlightenment, no matter what. So with this say, are there any last words, any invitation for people? By the way, everyone, if you want, I'm going to put Miran here in the spotlight. But if you want to invite Miran as a speaker of your masterminds, of your groups, this is incredible wisdom, especially you all that follow me that have universities or schools. The wisdom of Miran for the youth, for the future generations, is medicine for our future. So Miran, give us your last message, and where can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook. They can find me on Instagram.
Perfect.
And you can message me whenever you want. I will be there and answer every question there is. To close off, and you just made my job so easy now, Yvonne, because you just mentioned the man I was now about to talk about, which was Da Vinci.
Great allies think alike.
The great allies think alike, because just 3 weeks ago, I made a 10-page file about Da Vinci, writing every quote and reading tens and tens of articles about everything. Each quote obviously blows my mind away. But there's one quote which can sum up the entire interview here with me and you. And that is about simplicity, like you mentioned. And my favorite quote that he has said, of the hundreds of quotes he said, was, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." With that said, it made me reflect even more on that. We go to seek knowledge. There's no question. We want to learn, and that's how when you adapt, when you apply it to your life, everything does get easier. You deal with it. But I realized something through the reading and finding great quotes, that knowledge is learning something every day. but wisdom